when you hear what God says, you need to believe what God says until you see what God does. Faith precedes sight. God tells you to trust him until he shows up and does what he promises to do. Now, that being said, regarding Abraham, when God first showed up in Genesis 12, and he's about 75 years of age, did he know a lot about God or very little about God? Very little. The Bible wasn't written. He didn't know this God. He didn't have a relationship with God. Nobody that he knew this God. He had very little knowledge, but his faith and obedience, was it small or great? It was great. So here's the thing. You and I, do we tend to know more than Abraham? We do. Do we tend to believe less than Abraham? We do. See, we tend to have more knowledge, but less trust. His knowledge was minimal, but his trust or faith was massive. It's not just what you know, it's what you believe and how you live in light of what God says. The problem with some of you are like, I wish God would just speak to me. He probably already has. You need to believe and obey. You may not need more information from him. You may need more faith in him and more obedience to him. And so the story of Abraham really is an incredible story. And God shows up in Genesis 12 and begins telling him over and over and over, leave everyone, leave everything, start over. At 75. How many of you are at or near 75? Raise your hand. Okay, raise your hand. How many of you don't want to start over right now? Right now, if God said start over, you're like, no. I mean, He's telling him, leave your country, leave your city, leave your extended family, leave your wealthy, affluent, extended family, the business, the land, all of the employees, everything you've inherited. Leave it all. Leave everyone and everything you know. Okay, God, where am I going to go? None of your business. What am I going to do? None of your business. Well, what's the plan? It's none of your business. Trust me. How many of you at 75? You wouldn't do that. How hard is it to get a 75-year-old man out of a chair? Let alone to reset his life. Let me say this. Just because you're old doesn't mean you're done. And let me say this. One of the worst things that happens is that people not only retire from their job, they retire from their faith. You older saints, we need you in the fights. Die with your boots on. Die with your boots on, right? And you might be 75 years old and God might be like, I got a new calling on your life in a ministry. So you know what you do? You take a nap, you get up, and you try. That's what you do. That's what you do.